This back here that I've been panning around a little bit, but not really talking too much about, is where we had Bruce initially, which you can't really see the fence too well right now because we had to steal some of the poles to use in his new area, which you can kind of see the wire laying on the ground there. But this is definitely one of those things, like, just do it when you're able to. If I had to pick certain tips to give people who are just getting started, that would probably be number 1 or number 2, is just get stuff when you can. Like, maybe use some of your tax money for doing stuff like this, buying fencing for animals, and purchasing the animals for that matter. Which, like I said, we only have one income, so we can't get things like this as soon as we would like to a lot of times, but we're still getting it done a lot faster than we had planned. But honestly, this fence cost a little over $100, so it's not really as bad as you may think it would be. And this is, which I'm sure you can see, it goes back there to the tree line. It's a pretty big area. But yeah, it was only a little over $100 for all of the actual fencing line, the posts, which are actually really cheap, and usually you can find them on sale at Rural King. Other than that, you know, we stake some of the corners down with these sticks here. If you have plenty of trees, that won't be an issue. And some laundry cord to help hold it down. Oh, and the charger, of course. It's probably a good idea to get one of those things. I'm having a bunch of brain farts today. It's getting late in the day. I apologize. One of the tester things that you can stick here on the line, and it tells you whether it's working and how well it's working. And then the charger for the electric fence that actually electrifies it, obviously. And then the little gate handles, which I don't know, you've probably seen in some of my other videos on Mr. Bruce, which they're handy but totally optional, but I don't think they cost that much if I remember right. Now, if you're planning on getting animals or even considering it, most farmers and homesteaders will probably tell you that chickens are the way to go to start with, since they're relatively easy to care for. They're kind of the gateway drug, if you will, to the livestock world. And then I have kind of mixed advice on starting out with chickens. Obviously, it's going to depend on your coop size. That's going to be your biggest expense as far as chickens go. Because the chicks themselves are only like $3 or $4 most of the time, and if you get them early enough, you can get them for 50 cents or $1 even, which is how we ended up with the ones inside the chicken coop right now at the end of January. But yeah, I have mixed advice on how many chickens to start off with, besides, like I said, you know, your chicken coop size. Because more than likely you're going to have some that don't make it. So on one hand, I would say don't overdo it and start out with like 40 chickens your first year if you've never kept chickens at all before and have no clue what you're doing. But also keep in mind you might want to go ahead and get some extras, or be prepared to end up getting more, because you'll probably have some chicks that don't make it, unfortunately. Other than chickens, I'm obviously going to recommend American guinea hogs. Not necessarily just any hog in general, but the American guinea hogs, because they're so much smaller than feeder hogs, and they're known for their docileness. But yeah, to be honest, I will admit a little secret here that I wasn't crazy about him at first. Just because, like, when he was little, he didn't seem like he had much of a personality, and he wasn't rooting around much yet because he was little, but this is the first time we've ever had any kind of hog, let alone an American guinea hog, so we weren't really sure exactly what to expect, even though we had read about them online. But yeah, they're they're pretty easy to get along with. He does try to get out if I turn the fence off before I get his food to him, so that's one thing. But as far as their fencing, they are not as likely to get out and roam around as, say, goats, from what I've read. Like, I would love to have goats eventually, but you've got to go, like, all out with their fencing because they're little ninja escape artists from what we have read online. I don't really know much about sheep, to be honest. We've not looked into sheep much. But yeah, I think I would definitely try a pig before diving into the world of goats, as fun as goats are. Cows seem pretty easy too, but obviously you have to have a big area and lots of fencing for them. So, to recap a little, my top 3 tips for getting started with little to no money on homesteading would be to look for a place. Don't be afraid to buy a fixer-upper, number 1. Number 2, do things as you're able to or have money for them. For example, the fencing, again, with the pig and the chickens. And number 3, use what you have. Which, to go along with that again, as you can see, we have lovely tree stump posts for our corners of his area now. So yeah, I think that about covers it. If you guys have any questions, as usual, just leave me a comment and I'll try to answer the best I can. Thanks for watching.